Professor Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, July 25th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. East. We always have choices, and in each moment of life, we have the choice to respond to life from a completely new, alive, and freeing space that is born in the now. Or we can react from an older, unconscious, conditioned pattern that stems from a past story. The choice is always yours in each second. If you respond from a fresh place of freedom or from past conditioning. The type of story we are talking about is not that enjoyable fantasy fairy tale story that we all enjoy listening to around the campfire. It's that one that we drag around like an old ball and chain attached to a heavily shielded yet wounded heart. The infamous victim story is one most of us know all too well. It's the one that is fixated on how another wronged us or how we are struggling with money or unable to find the love of our life or create the career we really want. We often unconsciously believe that by repeating the story over and over and over, it will help us to escape it, transcend it, or feel better about our poor, lonely, victimized self. What really happens is that by repeating what we do want to manifest in our lives, we simply become more wrapped up in the ego's illusion. And by being wrapped up in the ego's illusions and being trapped, helpless, and powerless. The good news is that we always have the power to transcend our story if, when, we can become conscious enough to see who or what is truly creating it. It's good to know that all of our stories were created by some life event, big or small. It actually happened. The event naturally occurred. Then the mind took over and invented its special, specific, positive or negative meaning on top of the actual event. We invite you to take this entire week to write down and notice all the stories you tend to repeat in your mind and to other people. This is a very powerful, life-changing exercise. Notice if they are positive or negative stories. And who would you be without any of these stories? These stories stick because something happened in your life that your mind judged as wrong or absolutely always right and found some sort of peace within that perception. However, when you hold on to any thought or idea about life too tightly, you become overly attached and miss this amazing universe that's happening now. Attachment always leads to some future suffering, as we know. And it's always your choice if you want to be free and manifest more of amazing goodies or be stuck with the same old, small tune. Keeping a story from your past alive takes a lot of work and will drain all of your energy. It will keep you living in the illusion and never awaken to the divinity within your being. This illusionary mind loves to create stories about stories. Heck, you may even be creating a story about this exploration of stories. The reality is that you are not this mind, nor your ego, nor your body, and certainly not an accumulation of all your stories. You are much more than can be expressed in words. You are an infinite soul beyond the ideas of freedom and love. You are and always will be so much vaster than any story your ego could possibly invent. You will continue to exist long after this story has been forgotten by you and the world. Your being is naturally expansive and completely free. You have just been covering up your true infinite nature with stories. The tricky part in transcending any story is that our ego loves the drama of an emotionally juicy adventure. It's like chocolate ice cream to a child. Or life's traumas and deep issues are so personal, wild, and crazy, and feel so real that they often make us feel unique and that we are even someone superior or special. The truth is that everyone was born uniquely super special. Everyone. And we all have the same core issues deep inside. These core issues are about being unloved, unwanted, abandoned, and unworthy. What a great recipe to instigate massive transformation in one's lifetime. You may find yourself sticking to these issues because the mind gets busy entertaining the victim's story instead of being truly curious about recognizing your divine infinite nature. These personal issues can make up a major part of who you think you are. So let go of them. In many ways, letting go of them in many ways can feel like letting go of your entire identity. If you dropped a story, you would have to do the scariest thing of all. You'd need to totally reinvent yourself. Maybe this isn't such a bad thing. You could choose to only be loved, free, powerful, without any limitations. Is this a challenge you would be willing to take on? Letting go of your story may feel like dying, yet in the end, there is no death without some kind of rebirth. So how does one truly transcend their story? Just watch it. Don't participate in it. Notice if you are focusing on what you want or don't want. See how present you are to the now moment, or just reprogramming yourself with more illusions from your past. The experience you have will always be created from your personal interpretation and universal perception. If and when you find that you are really stuck, putting energy into how you aren't enough of this or that, and you may simply need some tools to shift your experience. Over the next 7 days, use all of these 3 story stopping techniques that I'm going to share with you. You find one that works better than the others, then use that one all week long. Yet try all 3 techniques. See how each changes and challenges you in its own unique way. Now, the first one, stop retelling your story. When you hear yourself telling somebody your famous story that makes you feel small, powerless, or less than divine, immediately stop yourself, even if you are in mid-sentence. As soon as you stop repeating your story, you stop giving it energy, and the story soon withers away. Imagine a big red stop sign in front of you, and simply stop the mouth from talking. Don't move a muscle. Be absolutely still and silent, and investigate deeper inside to discover where this story is coming from and what this part of you actually is yearning to feel, be, do, or have. Become an archaeologist, explorer, and start digging. If you are socializing while you are storytelling, and you need some space to do the digging, gently remove yourself from the situation. Go sit in the bathroom and investigate the source of this saboteur. It is worth it. These stories can ruin your life or transform it. If you take time to really look at your stories, you'll discover what it takes to transcend them completely by simply seeing how your story is an illusion of the past that the ego is stubbornly holding on to. You are instantly free of it. And number two, take 5 steps back from your story. Freedom comes from finding the space between you and your story. When your story arises and you feel it pulling you in, imagine that you are taking 5 large steps back away from your story. Just as if you were stepping back from an angry person, growling dog, or some feisty child who's had too much sugar. Take one small step. If you cannot take a large one, and with each step, take a deep breath of air and become the observer. Look at your story like you were watching a movie or TV show. Recognize that it's just that. Some drama being played over and over on your ego's video screen. Now that you are separate from the story, it is easier to see the truth of it and be free from it. Replace your story with gratitude. When you identify the story that you are most attached to, the one you repeat most often, each time you start repeating it, simply state one thing that you are grateful for instead. Refocus your mind on what is working in your life and what you are grateful for right now. There are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of things you can be grateful for, no matter where you are or who you are. You can be grateful that the sun rose this morning to heat our planet, that you have clean drinking water, or that you're breathing with life in this moment instead of dying. The list goes on and on and on. Just look around at this world. Notice the beauty, detail, and the exquisite abundance. The more time you spend in gratitude, the faster your ego stories will die and become distant memories. When you are in a place of gratitude, you automatically send out positive energy, energetic vibration, which in turn magnetizes to you the kind of positive, uplifting things you want to manifest. Once you leave your story behind, you can see the truth of your existence and experience total freedom from your ego's suffering and limiting beliefs. This will help you be liberated once and for all from all your stories. And it is a choice that you make, that we all make. Did you go for it, right? Or you don't. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, relax the bodies we're in. Can't say this enough. We are not the body. You are not your name. You are not your personality. You are not your character. You are the source, the God within that body. And it's interesting because that perspective is not prevalent yet on this planet. When you pray to the God that you are within that body. Not to some bearded white man up in the clouds with a lightning bolt. That's a bicameral vision. When you communicate with God, right? Everybody in our society in different ways, man-made religions, we're taught to talk to something outside of you. When you communicate with God, you're communicating with you. Not the body, the God within the body. When you communicate with God, you're communicating with you, who you really are. That's enlightening. That's high vibrational frequency. That's positivity. Optimism. Love. Gratitude. Peace. So our bodies, the bodies that we're in, relaxing them is absolutely paramount. Do we need to be in a body that's stressful all the time, that's a very difficult time letting go and relaxing, has dis-ease, dis-stress? Does that make any sense? And we're the only ones that are in these bodies that can affect change. So, the stress builds up in these bodies year after 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 year. Eventually, certain things happen and we have biological breakdowns. But instead of that, we practice letting go through the breath, focusing on the breath, slowly and easily in through the nose, slowly and easily out the mouth. We focus on the breath. The body reciprocates. It lets go. Stress, tension, fear, anxiety, worry, hatred, anger, revenge, all those things. Because you have moved into the now through your breath. And in the now, the ego mind, subconscious mind does not exist. Those are all illusions anyway. So, we view ourselves in the now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, where the ego mind is. Ego mind is in yesterday and tomorrow. Always. And that is where we suffer. Now, in the now, each of us, we put out, 60,000 or so, each of us, thoughts every day, without fail. Now, we also have tens of millions and billions of thoughts that fly by like clouds in the sky. They're really not thoughts, they're programs. And 99.999% aren't ours. They're just programs. We have that mind chatter, that noise, that mind noise, right? That's not there either. Now, you would think or feel that the majority of the civilization would be concentrating on what? The now, the moment, the present, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Because that's where we suffer. Why would we choose a place of suffering? Does that make any sense? Oh, I'm gonna, no, hey, I'm staying in yesterday and tomorrow where I'll suffer. And it's a choice. We practice, or we don't. Only you are the one that can make that choice. Now, it is always important to remind ourselves to be gentle, kind, generous, humble with ourselves. To be in the highest of the highest side, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of purest, purest, eternal gratitude. Because it is true that we have thousands, every moment, of things to be grateful for. We'd never run out, ever. So what we're doing is we're shifting our awareness from yesterday and tomorrow to now. That's what we're doing in this whole process. We're shifting from yesterday and tomorrow to now. And we won't suffer. And we won't stress. Fear. That doesn't exist in the now. Then it opens up the avenue and it allows us to drop our stories. And we go within and we discover the gods that we are. Not one of us, I don't care how vile or how pristine or in between, is any less powerful than the next, is any more than you, is any better. Okay? Those are all illusions. We are all one. And every time you focus on the breath, you will relax the body. It's an inevitability. All that stress and tension, anxiety, and everything, it doesn't exist in the now. Now, we all of us, at times, we may be in the now, and then we find ourselves somewhere else. You ever done that? You could be talking with someone, or you could be having someone could be talking to you, and for some reason you float off and you don't hear what they're saying. It's like you just float off, right? And then they say, "What do you think?" And you don't have a clue. Okay. So in all honesty, you say, "I'm sorry, I wandered off while you were talking." And when we do this, the good part, the really empowering part, is that we recognize it. Most don't. They don't. But you recognize it. And you say to yourself, it's not an issue. I'll focus on my breath, and I'll be right in the now immediately every single time, 3,000% of the time. And you will be. You may find yourself doing it 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times a day. But this is all about mastery. See? It's you mastering you. By applying this, okay, you will stay in the now. Eventually, all the time. That's part of our inward journey. To get to a point where we master the ego mind, subconscious mind, where they don't exist. Because you're always in the now. You have no interest of going into yesterday or tomorrow. Now we picture, we're all standing in front of three pathways, right? Now all of us in the moment, we're in the now, the center path. On the left is yesterday, the past. On the right is tomorrow and the future. All these paths, the trees that form the golden canopy, shimmering leaves, golden leaves and branches and bark, and the paths are a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. Now what we notice is that when we look to yesterday, the past, it's just very, very, very worn. And then when we look to tomorrow, the future, that path, one on the right, very, very, very worn. But the path that we're standing on, the now, looks brand new. And we know why that is. Most don't. The majority don't. Because the ego mind does not exist in the now, and it will do everything it can to keep you out of the now. It's like Buddha said repeatedly, Maitreya, rest. Master your thoughts so that you're the orchestrator. So that you can direct your thoughts. Form them. Okay? Super powerful. Rather than letting these random thoughts master you, you master them. And the only way we can do that is by being in the now. We learn about the ego mind, subconscious mind, by watching them from the now. You don't participate. You still them. You don't engage them. You watch them. You don't judge them. But you learn how they operate. Okay? Then you'll identify that's an ego thought. I'm not interested in entertaining that thought. That's an ego emotion. I'm not interested in entertaining that ego emotion. And they just vanish. Okay? Now, we all reminisce, we all have memories, and we have a lot of fun with them, right? And, we could be anywhere, doing anything or doing nothing. And it comes in, and it's reminiscent of a time and experience that was fun and enjoyable, and you enjoyed it. That wouldn't be. I wouldn't mind doing that again. And we visit, times where that we had experienced things, that we tried certain things that didn't work, and we use them as references to say, well, I wonder if it would work if I do it this way. Just like a resource library for each of us. And it's a magnificently humongous hall, right? The great hall. And each of us have one. And we'll go in there. Now, when you walk into a room, you don't really know it, but your eyes immediately flash at the ceiling and the wall. Right? So when you walk into the great hall, you flash, but you don't see ceilings or walls. It's so vast. Nonetheless, we will go to the shelves and the drawers, and we will pick out movies, books, pictures. of our past experiences. And we'll go sit in an easy chair, and we'll notice this like a white rectangle floating in thin air. And we will watch some of the movies, read some of the books, look at some of the pictures of our life. And for the most part, we'll have a good time. But we don't stay there. We will put everything back. We will turn off the light, shut the door, and move forward in life. And on occasion, we'll revisit. However, some of us unconsciously will go into the past, stay there so long that we end up taking it and bringing it into a future that doesn't exist. And then, so we create that future from that past, and we relive that past in that future. This is why people will say, no matter what they do, they always seem to end up here. Now, we all go into the future, okay? We all go into the past at times, and we all go into the future. The reason we go into the future a lot is because the ego mind is constantly on us because it wants us to find out. It wants to find out through us what's happening, and when is this going to happen, and when are we going to have this, and when are you going to have that, and you get hurried and stressed and frustrated. So you seek external authority. You go and you listen, or you watch, or there's so much of it, right? And you've got astrologers, and you've got numerologists, and you've got psychics and clairvoyants and card readers and pyramid readers and pendulum readers and tea leaf readers. I mean, it goes on and on and on, crystal reading. So, some of us will go and we'll ask, and most of the time it's about finance, money, wealth. Is when so the person would ask, when will I have enough money to enjoy my life? Okay. And so whoever the reader is will use cards or whatever tool or vehicle they have, and they'll lay it out, and then they'll tell you. You're going to be coming into a massive amount of money, wealth, in the next, handful of days. And there's different responses on how it'll manifest. See? Well, it's going to come out of the clear blue. You're not going to be expecting. So the first person, they don't believe in it, that they never did, and it's just kind of like fun game, and they just say, and they dump it, and they don't really care about it. And the one in the middle will say that this is absolutely fantastic, and then they'll white knuckle embrace it. They'll take it. They'll write it down in their calendars. They'll count the hours. They'll form expectations and attachments to the outcome of it. Okay. Then the third one will accept it openly, bring it right in, because they have total trust and faith in the universe and themselves. That's it, period. They have no doubt whatsoever. They know that the universe has their back. And so they make sure that it's clear, that it's not foggy to the universe. And they release it, and that's it. Now, they will manifest it every time. The one that white knuckles it, and the other one that really didn't give a darn for it anyway, maybe once in a blue moon. We haven't, see, when you master you realize that you're the one with the God that you are within that body has the power to do anything and everything that you could possibly imagine. You can manifest anything, create anything, both good and bad. The civilization has been convinced that it is not one, so therefore, how can it manifest? Now, we look at this planet as the gods that we are within these bodies. And we say that let's eliminate the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. We feel it's time to do this, period. You know, all the souls that have taken in too much darkness, the pure evil. And of course, there's hundreds of millions of us that are consciously aware, right? Which means that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Now, we know we have other parts of ourselves, gods that we are, that are stone cold asleep. We love them just as dearly and deeply as we do the ones that are awake. No difference. And we are unlimited. We are the gods that we are limitless throughout existence and beyond. Through consciousness, pure consciousness, and beyond pure consciousness. We will eventually learn that we will be able to be in more than one place at one time. And to be able to travel not by ship, not by starship, but by pure consciousness. 9 billion light years, boom. This is all discovery of going within. It's right there waiting for every single one of us. So we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. When you think about the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the feline, the Zeta Reticuli, the Anunnaki, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, and on and on and on. Or the inhabitants of inner Earth, hollow Earth, Agartha, beneath Earth, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of physical form in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All of the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. Fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. All the light spectrum beings. All one. One. So we form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya. This white fire emanates from the gods that we are within these bodies. Pure, deep, eternal love. This saturates, permeates, and floods the planet. Infinity and beyond. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes. We begin to ascend above the planet. we come in contact with light energies that we create to remind ourselves, because we have a little bit of amnesia. So you have Archangel Raphael, who is carrying an omnipotently powerful emerald green flaming healing ray. This is to remind us, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we are the power healing the bodies. We aren't there yet, to any great extent. Then we have Archangel Michael, who's carrying the violet, blue, purple flaming ray. This is to remind us, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with the white fire armor. The white fire armor emanates from the God within these bodies. Pure, deep, eternal love. As long as we maintain that vibrational frequency consciously, right? No demon possession, no attachment, no lower dark matters, 5 matter frequencies, no pure evil, no souls that have taken on too much darkness. None of it can penetrate this armor. We are protected always. But you see, you are the only one that can lower that vibrational frequency. Now, if you decide to do so consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, greed, anger, fear, worry, stress, anxiety, revenge, manipulation, dishonesty, greed, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all lower dark matter, 5 matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, then there's, there's possibilities of demon possession, attachment, all kinds of things. But we have fail-safes, the gods that we are. Why wouldn't we? Right? So we are met with a double column of light. First part of the column is the purple transmuting flame. This reminds us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutralized substance, sending them back to pure consciousness where they are, no more. Second part of this column of light is the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we, the gods within these bodies, created. And we created it to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain and the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the clouds and the sky. We are the trees and the forest and the soils and the animals. We're everything. Everything is us. Now, since we've been trained since the beginning to think through the ego mind, we'll look at a sunset and say, isn't that beautiful? I got to get a picture of that. Right? The beautiful part is great because that is you, the God within that body. Through the ego mind and the journey within, our perspective shifts greatly. And we view it through the heart mind by saying, that is the God that I am. That is the God that I am. That lake with the sun setting, that's the God that I am. Now we continue to ascend above the planet. And some of us decide to step outside our physical form when we're carrying physical form and hover effortlessly above it. Now, the reason we do this is because we can, and it's really fun. We come into contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We, the gods in these bodies, created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. Now, in the center of the column, we see a massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white bowl of light. It, in turn, is surrounded by multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This, in turn, has created a super bright, white, sparkling, reflecting cloud. It is absorbed into our heart mind, and it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. We discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal love. Then comes gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And we discover that all of that is a reflection of the God that we all are in these bodies. Now, at the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, infinity and beyond. Saturating, permeating, flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. Now, this golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We come upon our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We, the gods within these bodies, created this sphere over 4 years ago. It is marching towards 1,900 meditations in perpetual motion. Every day, 7 days a week for over 4 years. Hundreds of millions of us on and off world, consciously aware, liberating this planet, non-stop, infinity and beyond. All along this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to grow, intensify, and expand. This is the same with the meditations. There is absolutely no escape by the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. They vanish, they vaporize. Now, when you choose through the heart mind and in meditation, you want to actually see, watch, not judge, but watch what's happening. You can see that we, the gods in these bodies, have created an atmosphere of golden white pink light. It's everywhere. You walk through it, you breathe it in, it's all over you, it bathes you, it saturates you, permeates you. And this is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest and the purest purest eternal love. So you see the pure evil, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. You see souls that have taken in too much darkness. You see all this, and it's in the form of this, it's a black substance, a goop, AI rogue goop, all of this. and it's evaporating from the planet. This field that we created, this pure, deep, eternal love, this golden, white, pink light field, it's literally vanishing. This is such a high frequency, and that is such a low frequency. It can't sustain its form. It is dispersed. It is transmuted into neutralized substance and sent to pure consciousness. It doesn't exist any longer. As you watch it up the surface of the planet, on and in and below it, you'll see as it flashes and sparkles and disintegrates. Now, if it does make it way up into the sky, we have the golden white pink light there. Super bright. And it vanishes. Any remnants. There is absolutely no escape whatsoever. All the propaganda on this planet, all the talking heads, all the things going on, when the true power of the transition of this planet is the God that you are in that body. All of us, not some talking head. It's the God that you are in that body is the power of transcendence of all the evil on this planet. And it isn't done only, it's only done through pure, deep, eternal love. Not hatred, not anger, not pain and suffering. That's lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. Not revenge, not greed, not manipulation, not power mongering. No matter how small or stuck you may feel, you can always find a way to transcend it. So I invite you for today to dream big. Let yourself explore a new dimension of your greater power, your greatest power, your imagination. Start with creating a movie image of what you want your life to look like, feel like, sound like, and taste like. Hold that vision all day long. Anytime your mind wanders, return to it. Stick to it like super glue for this one day. As much as you can. You'll be pleasantly surprised how much you stretch yourself, your mind, with this one action. I joined you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy, slow breath in through the nose and an easy, slow breath out of the mouth. Be still. Imagine your body is a loose, limp, wet noodle. Stop all your striving and contraction about everything in your life. Sit down and focus on the feeling of being spineless and totally flexible. Don't just what happens from this. Just do it and stay limp. One moment at a time. Soon, you'll notice a deeper experience of peace, and expansiveness begins to happen in your body. Whenever any muscle in your body wants to contract other than what normal activity would entail, practice this wet noodle feeling. Let it expand until you are completely at ease. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into evening and night and fall and morning. We will return here Tuesday, July 26, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.